up guys, Hey King here, bringing you a new discussion video regarding Resident Evil 9. So this is going to be a theory video. I'm going to be going through some parts of the new second trailer, the official second trailer, and talking about some stuff I didn't talk about previously and adding some new thoughts to it. So yeah, this should be fun. Get this out of the way before TGS, so you know, maybe some things will be revealed in that next trailer, potentially, if we do get it. But yeah, remember to like and subscribe, guys, and let's go through this. So, first up, we have our look at the Rhodes Hill Civic Center. So, as we can see, this is giving us a very sort of similar feeling to the Spencer estate, I guess. The big question comes down to how big this area is, how much of the game we're going to be spending in here, because I do think we are going to be going into multiple locations. We got the Renwood Hotel, which is pretty much going to be serving as our prologue section, I'm assuming, unless we flash back to it, and that's how they're going to do the game. No idea how it's structured yet. And then, of course, we end up in the Rhodes Hill at some point, and we can see that it's, you know, the lights are on. There's even a car driving here. We know this location is located near Raccoon City, so clearly there's some stuff going on here. The entire area here is operational, and that it doesn't seem to be any infected near here. But the question comes down to, are people aware this place exists and it's open, or is this a secret area, sort of like the Spencer estate, where they're continuing their experiments on this side of the town now, if you will, the neighboring town, and no one is aware? Like, this is a secret location and something went wrong. The experiments escaped, people got killed, etc., etc. So yeah, you know, food for thought, of course. But you know, the big question comes down to, how does this lead to Raccoon City? Now, I do think that during Grace's investigation in this area, she's going to discover some stuff that's going to eventually lead her to going to Raccoon City. So I think once we escape this place, we're going to be taking a car, a vehicle, or something, and we're going to be going to Raccoon City, because that's where, like, the big, you know, plot is going to take place. That's where the big revelations are. So it's like, yeah, we need to go there and find out what the hell is actually going on, because this place is obviously connected to that place. So I think that's how it's going to work in terms of the structure. She's going to get kidnapped at the Renwood Hotel, and then she's going to be taken here. She's going to wake up here, and eventually she's going to kick ass, escape. Does Leon come and rescue her at that point? I don't know. Does she decide to go on her own to that place? I don't know. Are there other characters that are going to help her on her journey? I don't know. Like, everything is a mystery at this point. But I do think this is going to be sort of like a Midgard thing, maybe, where like you escape this place and then the world maybe opens up, maybe, perhaps. Like, are you going to be able to come back here afterwards? Is this going to be sort of like a Metroidvania thing where, like, there's going to be locations for bonuses and that, and you come back and you can investigate later? Or is this going to be like, you do this area and that's it? It's going to be sort of similar to like how RE8 did certain things, like you know, you do the castle and then that's it. You do the castle, you don't go back to it, that's it. So this is sort of like the big starter area, but it's going to be more fleshed out, perhaps. Again, not sure. This is speculation on my part, but it'll be interesting to see how everything connects going forward when the game finally releases. Moving on. So yeah, talking about the villains of this game, I also want to talk about the themes of this game, or in this case, the inspirations behind this game. Like, what inspired this game, right? So, if you guys remember, Resident Evil 7 was pretty much inspired by, like, Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those very gory, American-style, hillbilly-style kind of movies. And then Resident Evil 8 was inspired by classical monster horror movies, Dracula, you know, werewolf, or Wolfman, if you will, Frankenstein, etc., etc. So what's the inspiration with this? And, you know, obviously we already know that because we've seen the interviews from Gamescom, which were translated by Dusk, and they had this to say. They say David Fincher was one of the big inspirations of RE9. His works like Seven, Fight Club, Zodiac, etc. Mystery is a big core of RE9, and so they want to keep a lot of mystery around the game right now. Other inspirations do include things like X-Files and Silence of the Lambs. So you got to keep in mind, like, it's clear as obvious that RE9 is inspired by serial killer movies / psychological movies. So there's going to be a very deep psychological / serial killer / investigation type stuff going on here, and government conspiracies as well when you include X-Files into it. But what are the different inspirations? Like, what are they taking and putting into this besides, like, the cinematography and the atmosphere and that? Well, I think with Silence of the Lambs we got our first answer. So we got this dude right here, who may or may not be one of our stalker characters. The big question comes down to whether or not this dude is this dude here, like a few years later. Like, this is him older now after this. Now, some people have pointed out that he's got like the scars on his chest, and people are theorizing that this might be Spencer after, you know, his injury with Wesker when he got punched through the chest and that could be that. I don't think so. I don't think this is Spencer. I think this dude, if it is this dude, then that means he got shot or stabbed and injured, and then he escaped. And then he comes back a few years later to go after Grace again. Or this is a henchman who failed his mission, and this dude's like the big boss perhaps, or one of the big bosses, and he's come to take care of the job himself now. Now, this hat that he's wearing, like, a lot of people are like, oh, this is surgical and that, possibly, but I think it's more like a night vision goggles. I think this dude, this area here, I think is the Redwood Hotel. I think, because, like, I don't know, it feels all crooked, mysterious, maybe a bit burnt here. Do you know what I mean? So I think when Grace comes back to the hotel, she's going to encounter this dude. He's going to infect that police officer. He's going to turn into a zombie. Grace is going to have to make her escape, and this dude is going to be chasing her. So what's the inspiration for this dude? Well, Silence the Lambs. This character is going to be our Buffalo Bill. I think that's the inspiration for this character. He's the Buffalo Bill of this game. And I've been saying as well that this game, I don't know why, but like, I'm getting Hunting Grounds vibes from this game for some reason. So I'm feeling that maybe Capcom is taking elements from that and putting it into here, and that we're going to have multiple stalkers in this game, and this dude is going to be one of our stalkers, or at least he's going to be the stalker of the Redwood Hotel section, and he's going to end up catching Grace and taking her to the Rhodes Hill Center. Is he a scientist? Maybe, maybe not. But like I said, if this dude is inspired by Buffalo Bill, then, you know, there's a lot to take from that, because Buffalo Bill in the Silence of the Lambs movie, he was going after women specifically for their skins because he was trying to make a skin suit for himself. This dude might be after Grace because of her blood, or maybe something else. But I do think this is the inspiration. I think one of the inspirations for what Silence of the Lambs that they're taking from. So this is going to be our Buffalo Bill type stalker. He's going to stalk Grace through the hotel with his night vision in the dark. I think that's what it's going to be. Now, obviously, are these the same character though? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. I'm not sure. Can't really tell. That's the thing. If it is two different characters, then that means we have potentially three stalkers. We have this dude in the beginning, we have this dude later on when she goes back, and then we have, you know, Big Mama, aka the Hag, in the Rhodes Hill Center. And then I'm assuming maybe this dude's going to come back and he's going to be a stalker enemy later on in the hotel, or if he's not at the hotel, maybe he's going to be in Raccoon City or something. I don't know. We have no idea to know what the hell's going on. But I don't think this is Spencer, and I don't think this dude might even be one of our main villains. He could be one of the villains, because you got to keep in mind, Resident Evil has, like, for a good few years now, has multiple villains in their games. So this dude could be one of the villains for a Pacific area, and then there's like a big overreaching villain that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, that's my theory for this. Obviously, we have some other movies here, obviously, of course. Seven, Fight Club. Now, obviously, with the Zodiac one, I think that's pretty much like the reporter trying to find out the truth about the killer. So that's a big inspiration there. 7, again, I guess we're going to have a killer who's going to be doing a lot of traps, perhaps, if you will, or put people into certain situations where it's going to psychologically mess with you. So we're probably going to have like a stalker enemy or a villain like that that's going to be inspired by John Doe, or Kevin Spacey's John Doe, if you will. Fight Club is the interesting one. See, the thing with Fight Club I take from here is the duality. You've got the main character, the two main characters, and then in the end you find out that these two main characters are one and the same. Like, the dude's got split personality disorder, he's got more, and he's the same person. So that's very interesting. Does this mean, and he's hallucinating, this character as well, this other character that he's hallucinating isn't real. So does this mean that this game is going to have hallucination sections? Because you got to keep in mind, Capcom has been trying to do hallucinations for these games for a while now. They tried to implement it in the original RE4, they tried to implement it in the original RE5, and it never worked out. And we did get some hallucinations here and there with RE7 and RE8, but what's hallucinations might not be the big thing. The big thing, the inspiration for Fight Club might be that there's a character who is suffering from multiple personality disorder, or split personality disorder, if you will. That means there's a character who's got two minds in one body. Do you know what I'm getting at here, guys? Do you know what I'm hinting at here? Do you know what I'm trying to hint at here, guys? Think about it. Who is the one Resident Evil character right now in the series that has that is pretty much two people in one body? Moving on. So yeah, we're moving on to this. Now, this character, originally I said that this character might be Alyssa, but now I'm seeing a lot of people saying that this, because like you see Grace sort of, it looks like she's crouching down. So is this a little girl? I don't know. I don't know if this is a little girl. I still say that this character here is this character here. And a lot of people are saying that this is actually one of the zombie enemies. So is this Grace encountering a character that's going to turn into a zombie? Or is this a new NPC? Or is this two different characters here? I don't know. I feel like this is the same character here. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you got some people, including Dusk Golem, saying no, it's not. Like it's two different characters. I don't know. I do think I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, right? The way this character's dressed and that, it is giving me Natalia vibes. It is giving me massive Natalia vibes. But I don't know. I don't think this is Natalia. I don't think so. I think this is this person. And if it is, then then it could be a case made that this is maybe a zombie encounter. And then we got this character here as well with glass in her face, blood everywhere. So maybe this is another version of a zombie, because this is another thing you got to ask, right? We know zombies are in this game. Capcom confirmed this. They confirmed this in the interview. Zombies are back in this game. But what are the zombies going to be like? Like, you can't just make them similar to how they were in RE2 and RE3 Remake. You got to do something new with them. So is there going to be, I don't know, are they going to be stronger? Are they going to have more personality as a zombie and not just be like, coming at you? Is there going to be something more going on? Or are the zombies in this game going to be sort of like sub-bosses, perhaps, or something? Like, they're going to be harder to kill and that, perhaps? I don't know. Just, again, food for thought. But, I'm not gonna lie, I looking at this and thinking about it, I am getting Natalia vibes. And there's another reason why I'm getting Natalia vibes from this and why I got a feeling that Alex Wesker might be in this game. Because of this. So we have this mysterious character here. This could be a test subject or this could be someone. And look at that, like they're burning and that, like they got some sort of burn here. Now, I was watching, and this is all the credit for this goes to Center for Evil, because he's the one who pointed this out, and I can't believe I didn't even pick up on this, and I can't believe a lot of other people didn't pick up on this maybe, but if you guys remember during the demo, right, the hag gets burned by light. Like, when they step into light, they get burned and they back away. Now, that's not the first time we've had a Resident Evil enemy react to light and get stunned by it and try and get away from it. Now, obviously, there's the T-Virus, leech T-Viruses from Resident Evil 0 with Marcus. You know, the sunlight burned him and that. But the first time we had to actually use light, like properly light against an enemy, was in Revelations 2 with the T-Phobos, or the T-Fear virus, as I like to call it, that were created by Alex Wesker. In that game, you had to use a flashlight as Moira to get enemies to back away from you, stun them. And when you did, you could see that it was burning their skin. It was burning them. And now we got a similar situation here with this hag getting burned, and then we got this shot in the trailer of whoever this is clearly burned by potentially light. Now this is either like burn marks from a fire, perhaps, maybe this is the hooded guy, or perhaps this is an experiment that they're doing on, and this dude's getting burned by the light because of whatever virus is in his body. Now, is this a hint that the T-Phobos virus is back, perhaps? And if it is back, does that mean Alex Wesker is back and she's in this game? Is this a hint that Alex is overseeing things again? Because, like, at this point in time, she would be old enough. She would be old enough to come back and start doing her thing. So, gotta keep that in mind, maybe. Again, credit goes to Center for Evil for finding this out, so well done to him. Check his channel out, check his video out. He goes into a lot of depth for that. But yeah, it's got me thinking. Is Alex Wesker in this game then? Because if there's... I mean, it could just be a case that the director is just bringing back elements from other games, because, you know, that's what directors do sometimes. You know, when you get specific directors that have worked on other projects, they bring back certain elements to the next game that they're doing. You know, like Revelations 1 to RE7, and then you obviously had the director for Revelations 2 doing Resident Evil 4 Remake, but you also got to keep in mind, the director for RE9 also did, I think, sort of help out or co-direct Revelations 2, so maybe something's going on here plot-wise, or maybe it's just a gameplay mechanic they're bringing back. It might not even be story related. It could just be a gameplay mechanic, and then we got like nothing related to that or original one. But I don't know. It again, food for thought. Like, and then moving on. Okay, so this is the next part of the video. This is a big theory on my end, and I've seen one or two people actually point this out as well. But I thought about this a few days ago, and I realized, wait a minute. wait a minute, what if this is actually the plot of the game? What if this is the big twist of the game? So, yeah, this is Alyssa's notebooks, okay? She hid some information in here, and then she ends up hiding it, and Grace is obviously going to end up finding these. But is she going to get time to read them? I don't think so. I think she gets captured before she can read these notes. I think this is going to be sort of very similar to what they did with Alien Isolation, if you remember, where Amanda Ripley is looking for her mother Ripley, and she's trying to look for the box or the black box or whatever that tells her what happened, and then she ends up finding it, but then it's empty. Like, the information isn't on then, and then she doesn't get the real info until towards the end of the game, and then she finds out what happened, and it's like, oh my god. So I think this is sort of a similar case here, where you're going to find these notes, but you're not going to read them early on, and then because Grace gets captured, and then she's not going to get the full notes until towards the end of the game, where she's going to find out this big revelation. Now, what's that revelation going to be? This is a crazy theory, but it might happen or it might not. But here's my theory. Grace is not Alyssa's daughter, and Alyssa is not her mother. Grace is a bioweapon, or at least an experiment or a test subject that got rescued by Alyssa, and Alyssa took her and raised her. And now these bad guys, these people who are still operating in Raccoon City and Rhodesville and are part of the government, they're looking for Grace, and they found out that this is their test subject. After like some investigating, they find out this is who we're looking for. And these notes contain that info. These notes contain the info on those experiments. They contain info on possibly abduction, or possibly info on Grace being this bioweapon. Because like, you got this moment in the cutscene trailer where Alyssa tells Grace that she's gonna tell her everything, and the way that's positioned, the way that's filmed, the way that's done, it feels like the type of setup where it's like the mother's gonna end up telling the kid, like, you're not my daughter, I adopted you. Like, this is the real truth. This is who you really are, and I'm saving you, etc. So I don't know. I feel like that's the setup. The way she's gonna, like, I'm gonna tell you everything. Like, it feels personal. Does that make sense? It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm gonna tell you everything about my investigations regarding Umbrella and Raccoon City. No, I'm gonna tell you everything about yourself because you need to know the truth, etc., etc. And this is why this is happening. I feel like that's what it is. It feels very personal, not like something related to Alyssa's investigations, but something related to Grace herself personally, and Alyssa doesn't want to tell her yet because of the danger in that. To add to that, we can see that someone was taking a picture of Grace in the hotel, and this clearly tells me that these guys, whoever they are, the villains, they're after her specifically. They wanted to kill Alyssa, but they wanted to capture Grace alive. Now, because here's the thing, right? A lot of people are theorizing that the reason they want Grace is because of her antibodies, because of the daylight. But here's the thing. If she's not Alyssa's daughter, she has no antibodies. So then why would they be after her? Because she's an experiment. She's a very specific type of experiment or POW that they created that escaped from them, and they want her back. And maybe her blood is related to that, but it's nothing to do with daylight. Because here's the thing, right? Why would you want to kill Alyssa? She's got the daylight vaccines in her body. I mean, yes, it's not pure like Grace's would be, because she was born with it, if she is the daughter, of course. But why not just capture her? Why not go after Sherry for the G virus vaccine? Why not go after Jill, who also has like a version of the daylight or something? Do you know what I mean? Why not go after the other survivors of Outbreak who have the daylight vaccine? Or is this just a thing that's not common knowledge and they found out later, maybe? I don't know, but my theory right now is that maybe this is the twist. Like, we're gonna find out as we play through the game that Grace is actually a POW, like, or a subject that came from Rhodesville or from Raccoon City, and Alyssa rescued her, and she's been investigating all of this, trying to put it all together, why this is happening. And then we got this shot here. The more I look at this whatever this is, I'm starting to think that this is some sort of capsule, some sort of coffin. Is this a hint maybe that this is where Grace came from? Like, she was in this? Or is this, if this is a coffin or some sort of testing tube or containment tube, is there someone else in here? And the big question comes down to who would be in here with the bloody umbrella symbol like on them? Is Alex Wesker coming back? Did she hibernate? Did she freeze herself like Alexia did? Maybe is this maybe they are bringing Spencer back and he's in here, like they're gonna do some Palpatine BS, like, oh yeah, somehow Spencer returned, but hopefully with a better explanation. Is it Wesker? I don't know, but like I said, like if my theory ends up being right that you know, Grace is a BOW, maybe this is all related to this, like, and it all comes together towards the end, and you find out and it's like, oh my god, like what? But yeah, that's all I got for now. That's my theory. That's my theory and discussion on all of this. We won't know until we get more info, until the game comes out. But I don't know. I feel like there's something definitely going on with Grace here, and this could be one of the things. It might not be. It might not be. Like I said, this is speculation on my part. I'm just theorizing here, but you know, take it with a grain of salt. But you never know. You never know. Capcom could trick us, because you also got to keep in mind, like, one of the big themes of this current trilogy, if you will, has been the theme of family, right? You know, the first one was a husband trying to rescue his wife whilst dealing with this very demented family, right? That was actually being controlled by this BOW that wanted a family, that wanted to be loved. And then Resident Evil 8 was about a father trying to rescue his daughter, and again, dealing with this very dysfunctional family that weren't blood related, but, you know, they weren't very close as a family. And again, the main villain was a mother trying to bring back her daughter. And now we're going into RE9, and we're playing as a daughter trying to, you know, find out why her mother was killed, and potentially dealing with these villains who might be another sort of symbolic theme for family again, very dysfunctional family. But the big twist is going to be that Grace is actually related to these people. Like, this is her real family, actually. Like, and she's coming back to them, but she wants nothing to do with them because, you know, blood, you know how they say blood is thicker than water and that, but sometimes, you know, your blood relatives aren't your family. Like, you know, it's the people who took care of you, who actually loved you, who raised you, they're your family. So maybe that's kind of like the opposite they're gonna do with what sort of 7 and 8 did, and now it's gonna be like the reversal. Do you know what I mean? So you gotta keep that in mind, because clearly they're sticking with this big family theme with this game as well, and they're continuing that. So maybe that's what's gonna happen. Maybe that's gonna be the big reveal. Like, you know, we've been looking for you, searching for you, and now you're back with your real family. And it's like, you know, you're not my family. Alyssa was my family. Leon, depending on if she has a relationship with him early on, like after her mother's death, is my family, etc. You know, that kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting if this is what this game's going for. But again, we won't know until we get more info. Hopefully, we get info at TGS next week. Fingers crossed. But yeah, guys, that's my theory stuff on this. That's really all I have to say on this. I hope you liked this video. Tell me your thoughts about it down below. Tell me what you think. And yeah, remember, as always, remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, guys, TGS next week. Can't wait. Take care and bye, guys. Take care and bye.